So Nancy Pearl, who is the fabulous, incredible librarian on NPR for years, and I think brought great things to libraries all over the country. Anyway, she started a program where a community would read one book, and then they could all talk about it. And I think it was the second year of her program that Chicago picked that up. And I read about Seattle and Chicago in the New York Times, and I thought, oh, we have to do that in Kalamazoo. So, the book that Chicago was reading was To Kill a Mockingbird. So we'll do that same book. I just made up some materials. I wrote up a one-sheet description, and then I went all around town, and I, including the library, and I handed out that material and some table tents, and I went to bars, and I went to churches, and I went to restaurants, and any kind of place where there was interaction of people, and talked it up and said, here's what we're doing. So there was a little bit of ripple. A couple of churches they had kind of study groups that did it. I know there was a discussion at Bell's one day that I wasn't in. There was another one that I was in, but there were discussions around the table at the bakery. And I just thought I just loved the idea of, I like what just brings people together in ways that aren't, it's not church, it's not home, it just brings people together.
But the thing that's so amazing, I believe, is that the Kalamazoo Community Foundation was having this brand new initiative. They were rolling it out called Better Together. But their whole goal was to bridge differences and bring groups and people together across boundaries of one kind or another. They wanted to have some projects or programs that would be available for the community that would sort of capture that whole spirit. And they knew about you having done the
geez, I didn't take anything to them.
Yeah, no, well, isn't that interesting? But they knew that you had done this, and that To Kill a Mockingbird was the book, and so on. And they decided, well, let's put some resources behind this, and let's make this a Kalamazoo Community Foundation initiative. Big deal, you know, and because we've got the resources, and we'll be able to spread the word and do marketing and all that. There was a rollout of the Better Together initiative at the Navigation Center behind Borges Hospital, and you were a speaker because you were tapped to talk about what you had done at the bakery on Burdick Street to get to know your neighbors and to have, I hate to use the term build community, but that was kind of what it was. Yeah. So you were one of the speakers at this thing, and Jack Hopkins, I remember, the foundation announced that they were going to begin a community read program based on the Seattle thing and based on what you had done. And after that session, it was adjourned. Yes. And you came up to me, representing the library, as I was the library person, and you said, "What are they doing? They shouldn't do that. They shouldn't run a reading program. The library should run the reading program.
The library, right?
It's a natural."
Yeah.
And the next day, I got a phone call from Dave Gardner at the foundation.
I'll be darned.
And said, well, what do you think about the library? Maybe, can we talk about this? And that's how it started. And they funded us for 3 years.
Yeah.
We knew how to start an initiative, and we were pretty adept at coalition building, but it was still a big deal.
Yeah.
To undertake, and it took money. And
Yes.
when the foundation sort of handed us the opportunity, after we hired our first coordinator, Joan Hawkshurst, but she knew that Reading Together, we named it following the lead of the Community Foundation.
Yes.
Because of being
Better
a
Together,
component
yeah.
of Better Together. So
Yes.
it made sense to call it Reading Together.
Yeah.
So look what you started.
I barely remember
20
that.
years.
20 years, wow. The library picked it up and made it into a wonderful, wonderful program. Again, that's Kalamazoo. There's the foundation there that does those kinds of things. The library is strong, and so it's that's the way this community can work.
Yeah. If not for you, Judy, I really don't think it would have happened.
But really it was, I just sort of unleashed it on Kalamazoo and let Kalamazoo take over.
Yes.
And Kalamazoo is a kind of place where people will say, oh, that's neat, let's do that.
Right.